Yes. Good morning.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Let's get down on the good news train. Have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Morning coffee with Mario.
All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Having a little trouble with my Facebook, but I think we finally connected. Good morning, you guys. It's Mario Hemsley here. There it is. For all of you, it's nice to be here. Let's give it up another. Ladies and gentlemen, as marvelous as this show must seem to you, I never am here alone. I am here with the gifted contributions of some very remarkable men. First of all, let me introduce to you the man that the ladies have been nicknaming and calling Sexual Chocolate for years. The man that they say you rub his head and make a wish. The man who works 3 switchers while live on the air. None other than the tall, dark, and handsome chocolate bar Victor Allen. Everybody give it up. Bet you can't eat just one. Melt in your mouth or your hand.
If you rub your own head, can you get a wish? If I can't rub my own head, that doesn't sound right. Let me go.
If I rub my head, I get distracted.
Let me stop. Hey,
I'm no good.
oh, geez, man, wrong place.
Well, rub his head and make a wish, because he's not the only one.
Oh,
Sitting right across from me, the latest addition to the Morning Coffee crew, the man who has inspired fashion change in the broadcast group. We give you none other than the wonderful, gifted Omari Bakari. Give it up, everybody, the man of the hats.
All power to the people. Good morning.
How is that, Dashiki?
Welcome all my folks.
Omari. Now, first of all, as you know, we start this morning coffee, we get together, we do the pre-show, but Mari is the ongoing distraction that is happening here at Morning Coffee, because while I myself am engaged in online dating, Victor's on, it is Omari who has been having the adventures as of late. So I think we should start this day. Before we say, first of all, let's do this. Alexa, sing Good Morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yes, and as Omari so often requests, Alexa, rap.
I've got a message for you. Your attention, please. I make to-dos and calling mom a breeze. Got a knack for rhymes, converting dollars to dimes, and lots of games for your spare time. Got skills galore, mad skills they are. And now I'm even in your car. When it's time to dance or get info on France, just say my name. I won't miss my chance.
That is Alexa, the rap queen. Thank you, Alexa.
Here's a station you might like.
No.
Rap Rotation Radio
Alexa.
on Amazon.
Alexa, stop. Don't. Stop, Alexa. Alexa, are you okay?
Artificial intelligence.
Alexa, are you okay?
My Monday is starting off marvelously.
Oh, okay.
I thought you hurt her feelings.
Well, you know, Alexa, they do get weird on you. Hey, Vic.
yeah, man.
I know you've been getting into stuff all weekend long.
Yeah,
My story is a lack of getting into things.
you know what?
So I know you got into shit. I was home watching Netflix
No.
alone.
Did you see the video he produced?
Well, see, videos, it's okay, but what people want to know is, well, what does that mean? How, make me relate, make me follow it. Why? But what I have to do is follow up with Mario, because he set the tone. He said, tell him what you're into. What I did is I sat next to our Starlink and had a conversation. I said, if you keep in these goddamn obstructions, I'm moving your ass off the deck. That was the first one. So, what does Starlink mean? just another connection to the universe. But I appreciate what Mario did for it.
You know,
Because he added to the Space Force. Oh, that's right. We're not supposed to say Space Force, right?
Hey, we is the Space Force.
That's Space Force.
Ladies and gentlemen, what Victor is, as Victor is referring to, is our Starlink. Elon Musk, one of his latest ventures, he's got 3,000 satellites or more up there in the sky. We added Starlink. So the idea of Starlink is that no matter where we go, we'll be able to stream live. You know, wherever we go, you know, from the jungles to the beaches. So we're going to be using. We got the Starlink sitting outside, but the idea is to take the Starlink on the Prius. I just found out it uses 100 watts. That means I can power it from the cigarette lighter. Okay?
That's huge.
So I can power. Your cigarette lighter will go up to like 300 watts. So this is 100 watts. So we're going to have Starlink powered. So everywhere we go, we'll be able to stream live. And an additional benefit is after that, I'll be able to watch Pornhub without any problems. Okay. So I just want you to know.
Now, to continue,
got to have that Pornhub.
So to continue real quickly. Let me just say to see.
What's your favorite search?
You see where it's going. How much time did it take? 11 minutes. It went to porn, didn't it?
I just said we could get Pornhub at the beach.
Okay, so now
where else do you need Pornhub but in the mountains?
Okay, I'm gonna make an agreement. I want to do this agreement. Mario, I want you to kind of help me out. All right.
Okay.
Mario, I got to ask this question.
Sometimes late at night when my parents aren't home.
I'm not giving them the main camera.
Okay.
Was that the question or the answer?
Right.
That was the answer.
Right.
That's when I watch. That's when I read National Geographic with my robe open.
Right, see, I'm not giving them the main camera. See, why? See, why?
It's those ladies running around.
See, I have a problem because I can't. Don't say anything. When I came in the studio, I was checking the system over the weekend, which is not interesting to people.
Good.
But I got to ask Mario. See this shot right now I'm doing, I'm switching to. See his hat? See the ethos? You see everything? Banging. How long we going to keep that MF Trump on the wall of the albums? How long?
You mean over there they can't see. We
look behind you.
Oh, yeah.
How long we going to keep? Looks like we endorse it.
It says he got on the blowjob bid.
They can't read it from there.
They got to be able to see it. That's our Trump. Maybe I should put it behind me. That's Trump with the blowjob bib.
Right.
You know, I always would say about Trump, somebody should put something in his mouth, but my zipper stuck.
You see what happened? You see
but I thought about it. You know, the first thing you think is, can we shut him up?
Right. See, I don't want to give him no air anymore. No more air. That's me. That's my first journey this weekend. But to answer Mario's question, you know what? They always say, don't tell people suggestions of what you should do. Do it yourself. So I documented what they call what I do when I get up in the morning in my routine. And then I just added what I called my ethos journey from the east to the west. Now that involves some, I guess you could say, atmosphere, some get outside. Unfortunately, it wasn't a lot to do this weekend because my ethos was focused on the NBA playoffs. I know we don't do new sports anymore, but I ain't gonna lie. If I didn't get anywhere else, I was fixed on that game. And it's so cool to just be chilling at the beach. Got y'all watching the game while the waves.
You were watching the game at the beach?
Yes, I was. Yes.
See, I missed part of the game because I went to the beach.
You didn't have to.
That's the sacrifice I made.
You see?
And you went with an older woman.
Oh, okay.
See?
All right.
Strike two.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Don't take
Do not
to the
say.
I'm just saying, no.
Is that what that means? Don't
Okay.
Oh, be careful.
I like older women.
You want people to follow you?
do.
Watch what you say.
No, but I enjoyed my time there. And
Right.
Actually, I did something that I didn't expect to do or plan to do. I actually walked all the way out to the water where
Whoa.
you took those videotapes and
Right.
that. And so that's huge for me because I'm still recovering from my stem cell therapy.
You know, and how many people really know about that? Have we covered that at all?
No, not really.
need
You
to
know,
explain
Omari
that 'cause
is
nobody
that's right.
knows.
Omari is a person who is receiving stem cell treatments
Yeah.
for his hip.
Yeah.
Give it up.
Yeah, gotta give it to you, man.
Some fantastic results. Moving around a year ago today, I used to cry at the thought of going to the grocery store, but today I tell you, I'm in no pain and without cane.
Wow.
No pain and without cane.
Wow.
So my clinic out in Glendale, they did awesome work. I'm real happy I would send anybody out there, but it's worth looking into. If you have, my situation was hip, but they treat their specialty on knees, shoulders, and with the hip thing,
What's the name of the clinic?
the Medical Wellness Center.
Okay. Because when you have the information like that, that's a success in what you're going through right now. Even though it may seem not a lot, but what you're doing right now, and for me, I sit there and said, it looks like you're jogging into the studio now.
Oh, I'm feeling so much better, man.
Yeah.
I'm going in the grocery store without a cane. It's just amazing because, you know, the whole pandemic, I was down,
Right.
in pain, chronic pain.
Yeah.
Thank God for marijuana.
Yeah, and
There you
let me
go,
just
brother.
say this.
Yeah.
As a casual observer to the journey my brother's been on, it's amazing, and I'm so proud of him. And on the other hand, ladies still coming after him. Look at him.
You know what?
You know what? You think about it, he can still take care of
man,
you,
man.
but you
My
might
God.
have to bring it over to him. But he can still take care of it.
Right.
At one point, I thought I'd be riding my women around in my walker. So, I don't know where the walker is today.
We don't know where the walker is, but we know where the walker might be because the NBA playoffs that happened over the weekend is what everybody's talking about. Well, some of us. Audrey Celeste Parrish is in the chat room. I'm sure she wasn't talking about it, but PMC, Phil Cusper certainly talking about it. Victor Allen, what kind of basketball did we see this weekend? Absolutely crazy, crazy NBA. People knew. And I'm even in the chat room on Facebook, you know, talking to some of the dating folks, and even they know. You watching NBA? That was from some of the Chinese. And if they knew, you knew everybody else knew.
True.
Watching the NBA.
Yeah.
The Phoenix game was the worst one. Oh,
Got you, bro.
they
Didn't it?
took a beating.
Yeah.
They took a beating.
Yeah.
They did.
They
Yeah.
took a beating.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. Look, I'll elaborate more with my ethos,
Well,
but I want Mario because he's got that pimp daddy look, man, right now. I mean, just look at, dude.
Macalicious.
I mean, I'm sitting up here going, like, I need to go back upstairs and change.
I did this just because of Omari. And because in the rare chance that someone might want to actually connect with me and perhaps perform some kind of a sexual remedy, massage, perhaps with a happy ending.
All right.
All of these things would work well for a man of my age and my stature. And let me just say, I would be most appreciative, and I would probably cook you lunch. You know, so that's all I could say. You know, I'll make it worth your while if you could just tend to the comforting of the old man, as we would say. So just come. Give
Notice,
us-
notice, he's falling right in that category where people go, you better stay away from that old man.
A bunch of stuff happening, you guys. Let's start off with at least the solemn stuff. Wow. Naomi Judd commits suicide using a handgun.
Yeah.
And finally her family agreed as to who would come out and handle the story. And all I can say is I'm so sorry for the family. I've tried to recognize regularly the ongoing issue of depression, which has been a struggle of my own, which I've been open and honest about. But this, just to recognize the numbers of people, you know, and again, people have this mistaken idea that successful people are not suffering from depression. You know, their attitude kind of is, if you got all that stuff, you should be at least happy that you have that. Too bad it doesn't work that way. Too bad it doesn't work that way. I think especially for people who are successful, the irony is that for most of us, we expect that success will make us feel better. And when you become successful and yet you do not feel better, that's when you tend to get a little bit desperate. Okay? That's when you're sitting up in the mansion getting high. You ain't got nothing left to do but get high. So that's when you. So let's send some love out today to the family of Naomi Judd. We understand what you're going through. We understand what you went through. And once again, this is another one of those things to remind us of how prevalent mental health disease is out there, especially with this COVID. You know, a lot of people have been locked up. We laugh because everybody's out there trying to get some action. But they're trying to get some action because they've been locked up for 2 years. You know, so let's give it up for that.
Yeah.
The other incident, of course, that everyone's talking about is the shooter in Buffalo. Wow, who drove hundreds of miles just to kill black people. Just to kill black people. And you got assholes like Ted Nugent making speeches that encourage violence. So we're coming into that time, ladies and gentlemen. The United States of America is headed toward a confrontation. And it's only a confrontation because the forces of racism and bigotry, they are now in the minority. And because they know they're in the minority, they want to fight. They feel their ground slipping away from them, as indeed it is, and so they want to fight. So the latest thing is we have a shooter, 18 years of age. 18. Once again, I notice whenever they say they had a mass shooting incident and they managed to capture the shooter, you know he's white.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say it. Everybody knows that. See, that's what they were asking. Because you know he's white.
Yeah.
If you're a white mass shooter, they take you to get fast food on the way to jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we know that. So once again, the standard. Here they go, driving hundreds of miles to our community to kill black people. Actor Liam Neeson, which is why I don't watch any of his movies, talked about how in his earlier years he drove around because a friend of his had been raped by a black man. He drove around at night looking for black people to confront his own racism. That's Liam Neeson. Obviously, the racism is out there. People haven't been talking about it, but let's talk about it. Because now this is what happens. Well, we then get the president, who I've already indicated, he's part of Trump's legacy. Biden's failure to take on Trump. Biden's failure to demonize Trump.
I agree.
Merrick Garland, the sorry piece of shit that Obama was actually trying to recommend for the Supreme Court, who heads the Department of Justice. This is the man Obama wanted to be on the Supreme Court, and the Republicans blocked it. That sorry piece of shit runs the Justice Department, and what has he done for Trump or the insurrection? Nothing. We know if it had been black people doing that insurrection, they would have found the grandmother who contributed to the trip and charged her.
Yeah.
If you had a family who put up $2 each, they would have taken them all to jail for contributing to that insurrection. But no, once again, the double standard that is America is unveiled. So we get to watch the Buffalo shooter surrender peacefully, okay, once again. And so it is.
So there's a couple of other things about that shooting that's disturbing. One, of course, the way they treated the killer, but two, people who were the family members of the people who became victims of that shooter were some pretty significant people in the community, and I thought that for a random incident like that, how precious are our members of the community? They're out grocery shopping, not even thinking about anything other than getting in the market, getting back home, or doing whatever it is they're doing, and they have to be confronted with a situation like this. And yeah, I too, like you, I'm disappointed in the Biden administration. I'm disappointed in the Democratic Party for allowing Trump and this message and the whole white power ideology to start showing up across the country the way it is. So, yeah, we got to do something.
Got to do something. Now, and my final pet peeve of the week, the American Academy of Pediatrics. As you all know, I am a board-certified pediatrician, 30-year Kaiser Emergency Critical Care. And as you know, there's an infant formula shortage. It is a crisis. And like any crisis, the American Academy of Pediatrics is nowhere to be found. What a sorry group of sad-ass people who do nothing. They managed to elect a black woman as president, and she continues in the tradition of doing absolutely nothing. So when in the face of an infant formula shortage, what the Academy of Pediatrics has done is put out everything they think you shouldn't do. Not one thing that you should do. Everything you show. You shouldn't feed them milk. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Well, what the hell do you do? Academy of Pediatrics, you once again non-acting piece of shit organization that's never done anything in general for black people. That's why I don't give a shit about the Academy of Pediatrics. I never joined. They kept asking me, and I said, you know, this to you, okay? But I never joined because they don't look out for black people. So what should you do? Well, let me tell you something. Contrary to beliefs, before there was infant formula, people lived. People lived. And before there was infant formula, there were people who could not breastfeed. You believe it or not? Before there was formula, there were actually people who couldn't breastfeed. What happened? Did all those babies die? No, they didn't. So the American Academy of Pediatrics hasn't helped you at all. We're in a crisis. There is no formula. Now, for the people who have allergies, you're kind of stuck. But there's other things to try because cow's milk, which most of these formulas are made from fortified cow's milk, is not the most wonderful food for humans anyway. Okay, cow's milk.
See,
okay?
Vic, this is what I love about Doc can say all of these things because he's a doctor. He can talk about this stuff, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. What's the plan? That the whole country, that the federal government
we do
just
nothing.
fail us?
Yeah, they just starve. They have nothing to see. This is what I hate about the Academy of Pediatrics. Never anything useful. Never any. You know, they elected a sister to be head of it because they got tired of looking for one of them good old boy networks, which they really are. Every medical organization is essentially a good old boy network for white men. Okay, all of them. All right, so don't be surprised that the Academy of Pediatrics, when it comes to dealing with the current formula crisis, hasn't given you one word of useful advice yet. Wonderful. Let's give it up for them.
Now, let me do this because I know, this is Monday. And Mario and I discussed this many times that we were going to do a show centered around the issues, and he was really getting me up to speed, which would take about 15 years for me to learn most of the stuff that I was going to bounce off of. But there are some useful organizations that may not be connected corporately. It would be good to know where to go to get information when the failings are apparent from an organization like that, because you're aware of those who are attempting.
I'm looking and
see,
wow.
See,
So I guess we'd have to find
Wow.
some
we got,
special
but see, we have to be resourceful if we're
We
going
do.
to be critical.
We do.
All right,
And at this point in time, I'm not sure.
we'll find one. We're going to.
I'm not sure because I'm going to catch fleck already, but because as a pediatrician, I'm not echoing the Academy's
That's right.
stuff. So I'll catch flack already, but I'll go, like I said, they haven't given you one word of useful advice. They said, make sure you don't do this. Don't give them milk. Don't give them soy. Don't give them this. Don't give them that. Motherfucker, what do we give them?
Right.
I'm sorry. I have to go. This is use my French.
No. I get it. You see,
Okay, what do we give them then? We let them die, starve, while you figuring it out?
Well, part of this is.
And it's a joke because the formula shit, anyway, as a whole, to me, they got a whole lockjam control over this stuff, okay? This is another one of those things. You need to be tackling why do they have all this control over the formulas anyway? And all the corporate mandates. Kaiser just switches from Enfamil to Similac just routinely because they get it all free from the people. They give Kaiser formula so that you can get used to that formula, and then when you go home, you use the same formula.
Right.
We know that. So Kaiser just switches it up every year, every 6 months. They switch from Enfamil to Similac, but who else gets a chance? Who else gets a chance?
See, these are the things that I'm happy Mario's discussing because there are healthcare disparities across the board.
Right.
And cause I had my share with the chronic pain.
Oh, yes.
But we've got to have these conversations moving forward.
Did you, now watch this, did you find the resources for your treatment through what advocacy?
Well, I had to do my own research.
Absolutely.
The VA had canceled or postponed my hip replacement surgery because of the pandemic.
Right.
But they only wanted to give me Motrin. And Motrin...
You're a big black man. They not give you pain medicine. Don't be black coming to the ER
I needed
needing
some
pain.
Vicodin or something,
Right.
you know, that I could take and remove the pain.
Right.
That I'd still be able to sit there and do some
Yeah.
work, to think. All
Right.
right.
Yeah, don't be black coming into ER.
Well-
Let's tell you, if you have a tattoo, you ain't never getting no pain medicine.
Right. Now, see what I believe. I believe sometimes our responsibility is that we're good at what we call, knowing how the industry works. When we get deep into corporations, a lot of us go like, "Oh my God, I'm in a cave." But all you need is a singular advocacy, and sometimes that's just like what you did earlier today. And I said you need to springboard that information and the journey you went to go find it. What Mario's saying is, look, I'm going to tell you how jacked up it is. But at the same time, we can also point to, let's go to an advocacy. Because there are organizations that are informational. They may not be competing dollar-wise.
Exactly.
But the information is more important.
Exactly.
And Mario makes a good point. He says, look how life existed before this. And I understand. I already know about Sleepy Biden and the whole administration. I didn't look for anything. I was just looking for less drama. So it was less drama than the previous administration.
Right.
So it's still going to be drama.
It'll be drama.
Yeah.
The Academy suggested you get together with other folks to pool your resources and look.
Yeah, see?
Thank you
See, I
once
told you.
again for the
Thank
wonderful
God.
advice
Thank
from the
God
Academy of Pediatrics.
Thank God there's 3 of us in the house.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank
listen.
you once again, Academy.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
will figure
Yeah.
this out.
Well, see, the reason why
Really
I use this
helpful.
test- see, I use this as a test because Mario and I, back in the day, we used to do kind of relationship talk, I had this whole thing. And we would pretend like if somebody's in the room and they're all just bitching, critical, we always go, well, what's the solution? And the person who's bitching go, I don't know what the solution is. I just know what's fucked up. That's it. So
Right.
it's a good education for me because I know when Mario talks, it makes me go, I got to go find that advocacy.
Right.
Because he's sitting right here and I should be able to do that.
And it's a conversation that I think that, he sparks that conversation. And all of us should be asking these questions.
That's right.
I have a brand new granddaughter.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that she's healthy and that my son and his wife, they understand.
Well, the best thing is to breastfeed,
Yeah.
even though back in the 50s and 60s, American companies did their best internationally to convince the whole world not to breastfeed. We were trying to export formula to third world countries that were already doing well with breastfeeding. Enough that we actually had to spark a whole campaign to get Americans to go back to breastfeeding. The formula companies are so good at making you think you need infant formula. Okay?
Right.
This is a worldwide if you want a conspiracy, look at this one.
So do those companies fit under the category of pharmaceuticals?
I don't know. I was probably not. Nestle is probably a food product.
That's some shit.
Well, I don't mean there's a bunch of other ones. Similac infant formula worldwide is something worth looking at, and who controls that? Okay, and also how the media seems to just be jumping right into this. I've been watching the news reports. Again, they're great at telling you what not to do. I haven't heard one piece of advice that made any logical sense.
Right.
Get together with other people so that you can share information about where you can find formula. Really?
Which means don't ask us.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
And no criticism of anybody.
Yeah.
Because, the Academy of Pediatrics is loath to criticize anything or anybody.
Yeah.
Because mostly they're busy kissing everybody's ass. Okay. If you want to know more about the inequalities in medicine that are endemic, go to the website that I have been running for years. Take a look right here, unequaltreatment.com, www.unequaltreatment.com, where you can find about the study that was done by the National Institute of Health that documented racial and ethnic disparities in healthcare everywhere they looked. What they said was that we expected, and I sort of summarize here, we expected inequalities. What they did not expect was the breadth and depth of pure evidence. If you ever wanted evidence, electronic medical record unveiled racism. Because once you looked at billing and threw in race and age and other factors, you found out doctors were not treating people the same.
Absolutely.
Even though you paid the same money. Okay, this is not about the
or even more.
uninsured.
Or even more money.
Or even more money.
Right.
All right. So we're going to be coming back for Victor Allen's Ethos.
Thanks for that information, man. The unequal treatment. I forgot all about that, dude. Wow.
I'll be posting that site too.
Yeah, please.
Playing from Mario's iPad.
Well,
4.
we know where it's... Why do we care where it's playing from? Be right back. Take a sip.
Take a sip, take a sip, take a sip.
Kicking on back, late night staying up, writing these raps, engulfed in the summertime, soaking up the sun. Now I'm jet black, yeah, I think I got enough. On the tops, flip flops, like pink so soft, small braids, Kool-Aid, melon in the shade. Cute boys, first jobs, divas being snobs. Telephone, internet, computer, barbecues, pool parties, overnight stays. Little drinking, little kissing, playing these games. Boys trying to back him, then the next day brag him, but you didn't want to kiss him cause he had that dragon. Laughing till you pee, hoping homies don't see. Cut a little grass for some gas money. Chilling at the malls, getting sticky with the paws. You did it for the rush like a rebel with no cause. Rebel with no cause, rebel with no cause. You want attention, said you looking for applause. See, we were kids, the laws didn't have a clause. It was the summertime to us, it had no flaws. Rebel with no cause, rebel with no cause. You want attention, said you looking for applause. See, we were kids, the laws didn't have a clause. It was the summertime to had no flaws. This is for you. For 3 straight hours, writing in these skirts with the airbrush flowers. We went to the labs and they appreciated that. And you would almost die when he let you wear his cap. You might have told a lie and abbreviated facts if you came home late and were accused of being baked. Me, I didn't smoke, no, mama, I swear. She's only gonna judge me and you know it ain't fair. Trips to the beauty shop, keeping fresh hair. Blowing $80 at the damn state fair. Beach body surfing with the abs looking perfect. Hitting all the clubs, getting love on the surface. From ice cream cones to the Starbucks stones, to your new best friend, to your breakup song. They all play out like your favorite days. We love the summertime and it ain't gonna change. Rebel with no cause, rebel with no cause. You want attention, said you looking for applause. See, we were kids, the laws didn't have a clause. It was the summertime to us, it had no flaws. Rebel with no cause, rebel with no cause. You want attention, said you looking for applause. See, we were kids, the laws didn't have a clause. It was the summertime to had no flaws. This is for you.